excellent with wine and women, but was very, very bad with franchising. So it cost us a lot of money, and we ended up pulling out of Switzerland and still have not gone back to that country.
So, taking off from that question, what is the right balance? Local hire, or you fly in your own managers into the country? There are pros and cons, right, of either situation. Albert.
Right. First, a real story. For those of you who know Subway, yeah,
okay.
No, they are more Subway now.
Sponsors are they? No.
Yeah, they're more Subway now than McDonald's. So yeah, so Subway actually, they have this DA system, yeah, and the DA in Korea actually did a lot of bad for them because he was opening up outlets but not reported to the headquarters, and eventually a lot of them actually lost their business.
But that doesn't mean it's a bad idea to hire locally. Maybe you hired the wrong person.
This is just one example. Now, as for platforms, there are many platforms that you can use to look for franchisees. One will be, of course, in an expo, in a franchise expo, exhibit, get people to come to your booth and ask you questions, right? Secondly, make use of your current outlets, put up a sign and say we're looking for franchisees in this district or whatever, right? Thirdly, you can advertise in a magazine. I'm a businessman, so I show you you can advertise in the Asia Franchise magazine, right? And then, of course, you can use brokers, brokers who are not just out to make a commission. It's like a bad headhunter throwing hot bodies to you. You want them to qualify and make sure they've done the homework, etc., etc. So that's another platform. Then another platform will be, on missions. You actually bring them to overseas, or you join a group of like the Chamber of Commerce. You go overseas, and then your embassy over there would line up all these novel rich or high net worth people who are interested in your concept and come listen to you. So there are many platforms.
Let's do Datuk first, then we'll have Andrew and Ray.
Okay, in franchising...
I think we touched a sensitive chord here. Everyone seems to be agitated. Go ahead.
In franchising, the franchisor has got a proven business. There's a trade secret attached to it. If your partner overseas want to play truant, or your partners want to elope away with your business, don't let them know the total trade secret to them. Okay? So franchise is very, very unique business where franchisees will be copying the business of the franchisor. So even if your franchisee will be your girlfriend or your wife, they want to carry on. We hold the key to the signature. So you don't have that signature ingredient in the franchise with them. Okay? So you hold certain part of the trade secret, must not allow it to part away from you the 100%.
Andrew, how do you protect yourself? I mean, it's not just your partner stealing trade secrets and business. Be your top management in that area.
So you are in that sort of. You're under that sort of territory, trusting the expansion of your franchise system in a state or in a territory or in a country to somebody else. And yet, how do you protect yourself there? You protect yourself legally, of course, but even more important than legally is you do what you can to protect yourself commercially by doing that massive due diligence to make sure you've got to try to find the right partner. But as to that earlier question on local or international, the reality is that the vast percentage of international expansion by franchise systems is through master licensing. I mean, by definition, that locks you into a foreign to a foreign partner. If it's a joint venture, it locks you into it to a foreign partner. If you're entering through a wholly foreign-owned enterprise or subsidiary, I mean that's your company, but you're going to employ local people. I mean, the reason that master franchising is the most popular way to go is so you can plug into that local talent to help you through those things that you've just got no idea about in a foreign country, from zoning laws to regulation to supply. But McDonald's and KFC, both into China, one in 87, one in 90. In those days, the law made it difficult to enter if it wasn't through a joint venture. But even if the law had involved the post-WTO flexibility it has now, you would have entered through a joint venture. But, I mean, they were both state-owned enterprises. In KFC's case, they controlled chicken supply in Guangdong province and all. You know, that's why you got to plug into those local stuff.
Ray, quickly, then we'll have the next question.
If I could just add, I think that one thing we learned early on was once you sell a master license to another country, you can't leave them alone. You can't think your job is over once you've sold a master license in another country. That's when the job begins. If you want to build and grow a successful operation in another country, you have to commit to that country and you have to go. When we went to Australia, I personally went over 20 times the first 5 years in that operation. I don't go multiple times a year now. I only go once a year now, but we've got 135 franchisees in Australia and 13 full-time employees. But if you want to go internationally, you have to commit to that time. And I think Andrew mentioned that earlier, that the resources, the money, but really the manpower and the time that you want to build and grow a business in another country, you have to commit. And if you want to grow it, you have to go to that country. And many times, and send key people there, and deal with the issues and problems that they have and help them through it the same way you got through it.
Thank you, Ray. Let's have the next question. I think we only have around, 15 minutes left, a little more than that. So if anyone would like to ask a question, just come forward to the microphones and introduce yourself. Yes, please, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Nita Fabia. I'm 19. And it was mentioned a while ago that you needed a mature or sophisticated understanding of franchising before you begin, because it was mentioned that there was a misinterpretation of how people viewed franchising. And so if I wanted to get into franchising, what mindset should I have to be sure that I could succeed? Or not be sure, but to decrease my level of risk.
Anyone can take that, yes.
So do you mean entering franchising as a franchisee or as a franchisor?
As a franchisee.
Look, let me have a go at that. Have a go at that one first. Just a very quick preamble. A few years ago, my brother, who was always an academic, his dean said, "You've been doing your PhD for 15 years. It's not going anywhere. Take a few months off and finish it, or there's no job for you." He went back to our hometown in New Zealand. We got a beautiful little beach house. He sat there, and after he said, "What am I doing a PhD for?" No interest in it. He bought a cafe bar on the water. I'm a partner in it. We know nothing about running a cafe, running a bar, running a restaurant. Why didn't we? I love franchising. It's my life. Why didn't we? Why didn't I talk to Albert and say, "Look, find us a franchise system for this"? The reason is we know my brother and I don't have the personality to be franchisees. One of the key reality as a franchisee is you lose independence. Albert said before, we don't want former chefs. We'd rather have someone coming in as a franchisee who's had no experience, so we can train it our way. So look, I suppose there are many. The franchisor will. The franchisor, if the franchisor is doing its job properly, will have profiled the ideal franchisee. What you got to look into your heart and decide is, do I have the personality to be a franchisee? And am I prepared to trade off the independence for the massive advantages of franchising, of course, for the training and support. But you can't do it your way anymore. You've got to do it the franchise way.
The question was very young, and I would imagine a budding entrepreneur. Yeah. So how would you speak to a young man about that?
I was 23 years old when I started my company here, and with one store. We have many, many successful franchisees in our system that are in their 20s and 20, 22, 24, whatever. And I would welcome you to our booth at the franchise show here in the Philippines. So stop by and see us at United Franchise Group because we're open for business. I think this next